But first, for 4 years, Kate and Jerry McCann have lived a never-ending ordeal, and they still don't know when or if it'll ever end. It began on a family holiday in Portugal when Madeleine, their 4-year-old daughter, simply vanished. She hasn't been seen since. Tonight, the mystery deepens. You're about to see home video never shown before and learn the vital clue Madeleine left behind. Here's Ronnie Sadler.
Okay, spin around, darling. Right round. Oh, yes, I can see your wings.
Gives a big smile.
Oh, yes. One more, big smile. That's pretty.
She was an incredibly beautiful baby, actually.
You sound like the most biased parents on the planet now, but she was just really compact and just a really kind of nice, round, perfect head, and you know, and then she opened her mouth and the whole world knew she was with us.
She had McCann level volume, there's no doubt about that.
Clap your hands together. 1, 2, 3.
Yay, well done. Okay, let's sing another one.
I always wanted to be a mother. I don't know if maybe that stemmed from being an only child and sort of, you know, wanting that feeling of family.
Madeleine was the daughter Kate and Jerry McCann always wanted. For years, Kate struggled to fall pregnant, so when Madeleine came along, they felt blessed. They loved to photograph her, and she loved being photographed. This is the last picture of Madeleine, taken 7 hours before she disappeared.
There's a photo of her that afternoon that was taken at 2:29, I think, because we've got it on a digital camera. And she was just sitting by the pool with myself, and we've both got our feet just paddling, and she is so happy.
It's been 1,543 days since Madeleine McCann vanished. To keep Madeleine's case alive, this private couple has revealed more of themselves than ever before. Kate and Jerry are both doctors. They married in 1998, and in 2001, after 3 years of failing to conceive naturally, they began IVF. 18 months later, on the eve of another hospital appointment, Kate did a home pregnancy test.
A little line appeared on the test. You know, I'm a doctor, and it says on the box any kind of line is a positive, but I was like, oh, I'm not sure. But there was that faint kind of...
Showed its me, and I'm like, it's definitely.
It's definitely.
No question.
And obviously we had a scan, and there's a little beating heart, and that was our little Madeleine, you know, so...
Who's that present for?
That's for Andrea.
Are we going to post it today?
No.
We are.
There's a letter.
Who says uh-huh? Say yes, Daddy.
Yes, Daddy.
Okay.
And then, in May 2003, 3 became 5.
When she first saw the twins, she was just ecstatic, absolutely ecstatic.
Oh, we took a very big tonics. Santa must have bring toys. Alice.
Felt blessed, really, at that time.
You say the family felt really complete.
You know, we did feel incredibly lucky.
In late April 2007, the McCanns decided to travel to Portugal for a family holiday. In the pink pants climbing the stairs to the plane is Madeleine.
Oopsie, you all right?
It was the McCanns' first overseas holiday as a family, and they went with 3 other couples.
Cheer up, Jerry, we're on holiday.
It's a small resort. It was out of season, end of April, beginning of May, and it was incredibly quiet. We felt very relaxed there, very relaxed.
In the evening, the children were put to bed by 7:30, before the adults had dinner together down at the pool. From where they ate, Kate and Jerry could see the back of their apartment and left the door unlocked.
If you measure it directly from the back of the apartment as a straight line to where we're dining, it's only 50 metres.
50 metres?
That's a direct line now.
49.4 on Google if you want to be really specific.
But the proximity was very close.
Madeleine and the twins slept in a room at the front of Villa 5A. Kate and Jerry believed their shuttered bedroom window, overlooking the car park and street, was closed and locked. Every half an hour, the parents would take turns to check on each other's children.
We thought that was the best thing, and it seemed to work absolutely fine, and we didn't have any problem right until the Thursday morning when Madeleine said, why didn't you come when we cried last night? We thought, that's odd.
No.
You now think somebody had either tried to get into the room or was in the room and woke them up the night before?
It just seems too much of a coincidence that she made that comment and then that happened that night.
Looking back now, you think that could have been your one chance to save her?
Well, as soon as I discovered that Madeleine had been taken, it just hit me straight away what she'd said that morning, and I just thought, oh my God, someone tried the night before.
On Thursday night, Kate put her daughter to bed for the last time.
But my memory of that evening is really vivid. I mean, she was really tired, but she was just cuddled up on my knee, and we read a story. And we also had some treats. We had some crisps and biscuits. And then after they'd done the usual kind of toilet teeth, we went through to the bedroom and read another story, If You're Happy and You Know It. Yeah.
At 9 p.m, Jerry checked on Madeleine and the twins.
I actually stuck my head round the door and I just lingered for a few seconds and thought how beautiful she was.
And
that's the last time I saw her.
The last time you saw her? You thought how lucky you were.
Exactly. Your world shattered within an hour.
At 10 p.m, it was Kate's turn to look in on the kids.
The bedroom door where the three children were sleeping was open much further than we'd left it. I went to close it to about here, and then as I got to here, it suddenly slammed. And then as I opened it, it was then that I just thought, I'll just look at the children. And literally as I went back in, the curtains of the bedroom, which were drawn, but were closed, it was like a gust of wind, kind of just blew them open. And the curtains, which had been closed, just swung open into the room and revealed that the shutter was all the way up and the window being pushed right across. And then I just knew she'd been taken.
Kate says after a quick, frantic search of the apartment, she ran back towards Jerry, who was still with their friends at the table by the pool.
I can't remember exactly where the table was. It was kind of in this bit. So it would be about round here. And I was kind of sitting in this bit. Yeah, I mean, Kate was clearly distraught and I jumped up, but it was kind of disbelief. She can't be gone. She can't possibly. How could she be gone? And I was saying that to Kate as we were both running.
Police were called within 15 minutes, but they didn't arrive for nearly an hour. It took them another 2 hours before they bothered to seal off Madeleine's bedroom. British investigators later called it the worst preserved crime scene they'd ever encountered. Roadblocks and checks weren't put on Portugal's borders for a full 12 hours. And within days, hundreds of guests, potential witnesses and suspects had checked out and left without ever having been interviewed.
The night seemed so long. Every second was excruciating, and it was dark, and you just wanted to be light and everybody searching, and Madeleine found.
It's thought Madeleine was taken shortly after 9 o'clock. In the following 45 minutes, there were 2 significant sightings of a man carrying a young girl. The first by Jane Tanner, one of the McCann's friends.
I was walking up here, probably as I got to, it's hard to know exactly where, but probably about here. I saw the man walk across the road there, carrying the child.
Jane had seen a man carrying a child away at 9:10, 9:15.
But no one took any notice because no one knew then that Madeleine was missing. They thought the man was a local father carrying his own sleeping child. 2 different witnesses reported seeing a man watching the McCann's apartment in the days leading up to Madeleine's disappearance. But the Portuguese police turned their focus on Jerry and Kate. In September, 4 months after she went missing, the McCanns returned to the UK as suspects.
Did you kill your daughter?
No, that's an emphatic no. I mean, the ludicrous thing is what's been purported from Portugal is that Madeleine died in the apartment by an accident and we hid her body. Well, when did she have the accident and died? Because the only time she was left unattended was when we were at dinner. So if she died then, how could we have disposed or hidden her body, you know, when there was an immediate search? It's just nonsense. So, and if she died when we were in the apartment or fell and did something, why would we cover that up?
And that gets even more ludicrous, that we've obviously hidden her somewhere incredibly well, where nobody's found her.
Incredibly
and we hid
well.
her so well that we then decided we'd move her in the car, which we hired weeks later. And, you know, it's just ridiculous.
When you come back to Portugal, do you feel closer to Madeleine?
And although I don't know where Madeleine is, that is the last place that, you know, I saw her and held her, and I guess there's a part of me that still feels connected to her there. So.
If Madeleine is alive, she'd now be 8 years old and possibly looks like this. And a reason for not giving up hope comes from this young woman. When Natasha Kampusch was 10, she was abducted near her home in Vienna. Like with Madeleine, the police were slow to act, and as the years passed, they believed she'd either been smuggled across the border by a pedophile ring or killed. But all the while, the whole 8.5 years, she was living in a cellar under this house, just 15 kilometres from her own home. Natasha was kept in a purpose-built dungeon. She was given up for dead by virtually everyone except her mum.
My mother always thought that I'd be alive.
Then, after nearly 9 years in captivity, her kidnapper finally let his guard down and Natasha escaped.
Do you still have nightmares?
Sometimes, but I'm looking forward. Mostly I'm looking in the future and not back.
Are you confident that you can now live a normal and happy life?
I think so, yes. I hope so.
I think kids can be written off, you know, missing kids can be written off too easily. You cannot do that. You cannot give up on a child.
Can we get you turned in a little bit closer to the area? Thank you.
With no police force currently investigating Madeleine's case, the McCanns are using their own money, including royalties from Kate's book, to hire investigators and former police to continue the search for Madeleine.
Kids are survivors.
You know, Madeleine means tower of strength. Wherever she is, whoever she's been with, whatever's happened, we will get her through it.
You will not rest until you find your daughter, until you wrap your arms around her.
I don't believe any parent could, you know, and I don't believe we could ever reach a point where we just think, oh, well, we've done everything now. You know, whilst the situation remains as it is, you know, Madeleine's out there and she needs us to find her.
You'll keep looking forever.
We will.